Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Delliere. I'm a French clinical microbiologist specialized in medical mycology and medical parasitology at Saint-Louis Hospital in Paris. I'm also a PhD student at the Pasteur Institute and I work on Aspergillus fumigatus. Lastly, I'm part of the steering committee of the Trainee Association of ESCMID, TAE, and I have to tell you that we are planning a lot for you during the upcoming virtual ECMID, so do not forget to register ahead for our TAE sessions. So today I want to talk to you about dermatophytes. And I'm sure you're like, wait, what? The food fungi? The least sexy of infectious diseases? Yes, the food fungi, but there are much more than this. So during ECMID, there's going to be a session called What's New on Dermatophytes, co-hosted by TAE and EFISG, which is ESCMID Fungal Infection Study Group. And I highly recommend you to join if you're interested in fungal diseases. So what's new on dermatophytes? And you're probably thinking, what the hell can be new about fungi that were probably on Earth before humankind, that are not lethal, that are manageable, and that just gives you itchy, ugly toes? Well, for one, they're part of the few fungi that are obligate pathogens. I mean, compared to all these opportunistic fungi that we wouldn't be even talking about if our immune system was not bailing on us for one reason or the other. They also have successfully infected billions of people worldwide and have managed to stay low profile so nobody is thought to wipe them out. So I think dermatophytes deserve a little credit. Now, I don't want to scare you off, but the taxonomy has recently been updated in a 27 pages paper after extensive molecular and phylogenetic studies. But you want to know the good news? The first invited speaker of our dermatophyte session is Sybren de Hoog from the Netherlands. That he's one of the leading scientists in fungal taxonomy. We actually owe him, among few others, the latest atlas of clinical fungi. You know, that heavy book on the side of the bench, which is actually right here, about like 2,000 pages of pictures and fungal taxonomy. I'm sorry, this is the old version. We're getting the new one pretty soon. I definitely consider this the medical mycologist Bible. And one of the apostles is actually giving a talk at ECMID. So now we will also be welcoming Mahmoud Ganoum from Cleveland, USA, and he has greatly contributed to medical mycology on so many topics. This time he will update us on epidemiology, which is actually evolving and in a quite worrying trend. Which leads me to the third and maybe most important talk of this upcoming ECMID session, the emergence of resistance. Joseph Miletiadis from Greece is gonna be giving the talk. He's been working on the new UCAS standardized procedure for susceptibility testing of dermatophytes. So until very recently, dermatophytes were thought to be unable to develop resistance, but since a few years, a phenomenon has emerged in India with patients presenting with really difficult to treat and extensive tinea corporis due to strains from the Trichophyton mentagrophytes interdigitally complex. These dermatophytes have actually made the headlines in Lancet Infectious Disease in 2018. So you see, dermatophytes can be cool. So in the species complex, while T. interdigitally is regarded to be an anthropophilic species, mainly causing non-inflammatory tinea, anguium, and tinea pedis, meaning onychomycosis and athlete foot. Trichophyton mentagrophytes is thought to be zoophilic, transmitted by animals, responsible for more inflammatory dermatophytosis when infecting human hosts. Now, this new resistant dermatophytes have characteristics from both sides. It seems anthropophilic because spread among families have been well described, but it's responsible for extensive inflammatory lesions that spare nails and feet. And just a month ago, the experts have identified sufficient molecular and phenotypic evidences to establish a new species called Trichophyton indotinea, which I guess stands for Tinea from the Indian subcontinent. Actually, for once, this is a pretty easy name. So most strains have a mutation in the squalene epoxidase gene conferring resistance to terbinafine, the first-line treatment in this type of extensive dermatophytosis. Some strains also show high MICs to azoles, and it has now become a nightmare for Indian dermatologists. What's really worrying is that in the last couple of years, cases have been described in Europe, including Germany, Poland, Switzerland, Belgium. And right here, I have one of the first isolates recovered from a patient in France. So in Germany, they also described 2 cases of German patients that did not originate from the Indian subcontinent, nor visited this area, but got infected by this species. So I really think awareness needs to be raised regarding this problem to monitor the spread of this phenomenon worldwide before this new species actually takes over. We also really need to come up with new treatment options. I mean, don't you think it would be a shame if the next pandemic is untreatable itchy ringworm? So finally, the last talk is also about dermatophytes that made the headlines in a big journal, this time in the New England Journal of Medicine. It's about dermatophytes causing invasive fungal diseases in immunocompromised hosts. A really interesting subject mastered by Fanny Lanternier, who will be speaking. She's one of our best infectious disease specialists for fungal infection in France, with whom I had the chance to do some clinical rounds during my residency. So I hope you stayed until now and that I have convinced you that dermatophyte is a really hot topic today and that you will show up at that important session. Thank you for listening to me, and see you soon at ESCMID.